always wonder, is it going to work? Is it going to help? I didn't have any fear because I did my research on the clinic and on the type of stem cells that you can get, and the doctors and nurses I thought were very informative and very knowledgeable and just always there to help and answer questions, and I'm feeling quite positive for having done it, and very much looking forward to the results. Dennis van Maanen, I'm from New Zealand. I came to the clinic because I've got autoimmune illness called sarcoidosis, which causes fatigue and inflammatory muscles and joints, and I also have a bunch of sports injuries as well. So in my ankle, my shoulder, my neck, my back, my arm, and so it's a combination of things.
And when was you diagnosed with autoimmune disease?
About 7 years ago.
About 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And about your symptoms, were they gradually, how to say in English, changed during the time, or they are the same when you was diagnosed and today they are absolutely the same?
They're quite similar because I did make a lot of lifestyle changes, which certainly helped around diet, losing some weight and taking better care. However, things like fatigue, breathing issues, it's very similar to asthma from a breathing issues perspective. And so that hasn't changed at all over the last 7 years.
What have you done to try to cope with symptoms?
Just change the diet and do a little bit more exercise. I had an inhaler for a while, but it didn't really help that much. And they initially thought I was an asthmatic for a while, until they did a biopsy of my chest and found that actually it was an autoimmune issue. And just a lot of sleep. It's important to get a lot of sleep, more than the average person.
And how long do you sleep?
So I probably sleep about 10 hours a night. Yeah.
Okay, and how did you come up with stem cells?
Just through a lot of researching, listening to podcasts and social media, figuring out what alternative options there are there, and there's a lot of information about it actually when you go to sites specific to, say, sarcoidosis, which is the autoimmune disease. There's people commenting that they've done that in the past. I forgot to mention I have osteoarthritis in my ankle, and so there's there's also reports by people who've had or have osteoarthritis who had stem cells done. So they found that it helped them.
Have you got any concerns or fears of trying stem cells?
Not really. There's, I mean, you always wonder, is it going to work? Is it going to help? But I think that there's so much literature out there that you can do your due diligence before you actually sign up to it. I didn't have any fear because I did my research on the clinic and on the type of stem cells that you can get, and there are certain type of stem cells that you need to avoid, but this clinic doesn't do those, such as the embryonic ones, for example. So no fears.
And what type of stem cells did you get in our clinic?
Yeah, I got umbilical cord, mesenchymal stem cells from the umbilical cord, from the placenta, and also my own bone marrow.
And exosomes, as I
heard.
Yes. Yeah. How was the procedure? Was it painful? Was it difficult to tolerate? As far as I understand, you was taking your own stem cells from bone marrow, right?
Yeah.
Was it painful, or can you please elaborate a little?
Yeah, the process itself wasn't painful, but they apply a local anesthetic, which is a little bit painful. But you expect
it's
that.
tolerated.
So, yeah, it's tolerated. I mean, the fact that the needle goes into your bone to extract the bone marrow, you think, oh my goodness, what's this going to be like? But it was just a little numb pain, and I didn't really think it was a big deal at all.
I think that you had an online consultation with our doctors before coming to the clinic. And what did doctors told you about what to expect? If you remember.
I do. Yeah, I mean, they drew up a plan for what the most likely scenario would be, subject to some, you do some blood tests as soon as you get here and consultations, etc. And there was a slight variation to it, which made sense once they actually explained it to me. But yeah, everything was as planned. So right down to where you're staying and what the process is going to be. I was here for a week, so people are here for different periods of time, of course, depending on what they're looking for.
Have you considered different clinics among Swiss Medica?
Yes, of course. Yes, I had a bit of a look around, but I felt that Swiss Medical was the right choice for me. I go back to social media. There's a lot of social media about it, and I know somebody that's been through here before, so that also helps.
Do you remember what have you seen or heard about Swiss Medica that you decided to choose Swiss Medica?
What had I heard?
Yeah.
Just really positive reviews. So other than the one example I gave you, the rest of it is purely just what's available on the internet. Whether that's YouTube or one of the social media platforms or articles where certain symptoms such as sarcoidosis are mentioned, and people talk about stem cells. Sometimes they talk about the clinic that they went to, and Swiss Medica came up for that.
Have you got a chance to consult it with your doctor before trying stem cells?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from New Zealand, and this type of treatment isn't done there yet. So there is a limited amount of input that you can get from over there. But the doctors that I speak to are very much positive about what they hear about this type of treatment and what it potentially could do for you. So. But it's limited in terms of information. So the rest you need to go out and find out for yourself. And you do need to do quite a bit of work, I think, in order to be able to figure out exactly what you want to do and where you want to do it.
Honestly, many people don't know about the existence of Serbia. So they think that probably it's Russia or it's very dangerous to be here. You could be robbed or stuff like that. So have you got any concerns about Serbia?
No, I mean, I would have researched the country, but I didn't have to because I've been here before. So I've traveled through Serbia and I enjoyed it. So it was nice to come back.
Yes. And what did doctors in the clinic told you about your condition? What should you expect? When should you expect the results and stuff like that?
It varies. It can be anywhere from immediate through to, it could take 6 to 9 months. Is what my own research told me, and speaking to the doctors, they agreed that every person does find a different sort of timeline. And I guess that's pretty obvious when you look at the fact that everybody's different in terms of what they come in for. So for me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months, but we'll see.
And what's your first impression, not first, but just impression about the clinic, doctors, staff, nurses, kitchen, food, accommodation? Yeah,
the accommodation was very comfortable. I've got quite a bad back and quite sensitive to where I sleep as a result of the inflammatory issues that I have going on with my body. And the hotel was really good. The food was excellent as well. I'm on a very strict sort of diet with multiple allergies, so they were able to cater for that no problem. And the doctors and nurses I thought were very informative and very knowledgeable. and just always there to help and answer questions, and yeah, always gave you plenty of information before the procedure occurred, and then we talked about what might happen afterwards.
Have you got any issues with communication? Because you speak English, probably not everyone speaks English here. Have you got some kind of issues that was not comfortable for you?
No, everybody speaks English here. Even the drivers, kitchen people, I mean the doctors and nurses, everyone else that you interact with, everybody you interact with speaks English, and at a very fluent level too.
Would you like to say something additional? You feel free to say anything. If you don't want to say anything, so we finished.
It's a good question. I think if you're out there and you're trying to figure out what to do, and you know it's important, and you're able to look at alternative options, because not everybody is able to, of course, then it's something that you really should entertain. It's early in the process for me, but it feels you know, this has been a positive experience, and I'm feeling quite positive for having done it, and very much looking forward to the results.